Today in Apple News, we've got coronavirus affecting tech, AirTag, iPhone 12, and iPad trackpad leaks. I'm Skylar, let's get started. So, it's now being reported that production on both the iPhone 9, which is also called the SE too, it's confusing, and the iPhone 12 have or will be delayed. So, these are the iPhone 12's upcoming 2020 lineup, and the iPhone SE 2 or the iPhone 9, no one really knows what it's going to be called. But their production has been or will be delayed. March was going to be the release date for the iPhone 9 and September for the iPhone 12. These release dates are supposed to say, this is not supposed to change. These are both still supposed to be released as scheduled. Now, will that happen? I think Apple might do it. It might be hard to get these phones when they first come out, but Apple will probably do this. Now, this production issue comes in twofold. The first issue comes from Foxconn, who is in China, struggling to reopen factories and get workers to restart production after coronavirus. The other issue here is Apple traveling there. So there are travel bans imposed by, at least America, probably other countries possibly, on traveling to China because of the coronavirus. And this stops Apple executives and engineers from being able to travel to China and talk and plan with Foxconn engineers, which makes it difficult to produce an iPhone. Now, some things are being produced, which we'll talk about some of them later, but there is still issues there. Now, this coronavirus has had large damages on the world economy and the stock market. Dow Jones Industrial Average and the economy as a whole, this is just one example here, has dropped. Apple as well, you can see the stock has dropped. It's not looking very great right now. I have no place to tell you what to do or anything, but that is just what's going on. It has affected because of the amount that goes on in China. Now, the iPhone 12 lineup will have a new Wi-Fi spec. This is kind of cool, some new Wi-Fi stuff. It is much, much faster, but much shorter range. Similar to Bluetooth, just much higher capacity, and probably even a shorter range. Now, the cool thing here is the uses of it, like super fast AirDrop, which, AirDrop is already fast enough, but this could be really cool. Another possibility is Apple glasses and possibly the AirTag, their Tile competitor, which could both be really cool things to use as technology. I'm kind of excited for it, even though I won't probably get to use it myself for years. It's a really exciting thing to have there that will probably have many uses. Now, what about AirTag? This is the AirTag stuff tracking competitor to Tile, and it's expected to be released this fall around the iPhone timing, September, October-ish, and it will charge similarly to the Apple Watch. So that's this guy right here. This is our Apple Watch charger. You take your Apple Watch, and it magnetically attaches like that, and wirelessly charges. Pretty nice, pretty easy. And that's what we'll be seeing, something like that for the AirTag, which again is their Tile competitor. Now, someone has discovered, this is kind of interesting, in Target's product database, they've discovered these for iPhone, for iPad, for iPod, for Apple TV, and for some headphones, product listings. They've got pricings, they all use this they use placeholders of X or something to just make it look like this. Now, typically if we saw this, we would say, oh, they're preparing for a product release that they know about. But there's just so many of these, exactly the same, that there's actually been speculation this is just Target prepared for anything to happen. They're just super prepared for this. These aren't public or anything. This is just what employees, I believe, have found and have sent to news agencies. So I wouldn't really take anything from it. I would just say maybe it could come, but maybe it couldn't. Now, the iPad is possibly coming because we have seen lots of other leaks about it, including two cool things here. One is mini LED on the iPad. Now, basically what that means is it's still similar to LCD, not OLED, but what you get is blacker backs than LCD, brighter brights than OLED, and thinner than the current iPad. Those are all positives from this display technology, which Apple is reportedly and probably actually is producing in somewhere. Somewhere is producing these. So we will see this coming up soon because Apple's making them right now. Now, a proposed law in the European Union could make smartphone manufacturers have to have user replaceable batteries. This used to be a really common thing. Take this phone right here, the LG G3. It's got this back that comes right off. just like so, and you got a battery. You can pull it out, charge it, have multiple of them, very useful. Used to be very common as well. But now, I would say like most, if not every single phone on the market does not have this anymore. Apple never has, Android phones don't have it anymore. But the EU is trying to make people do this with these phones. So that would affect every smartphone maker. Personally, I would love to see how Apple would take this design challenge, but I would definitely be afraid of batteries that cost even more than the wheels of the Mac Pro. Oh, that would just be scary, but I could definitely see Apple doing that because this law doesn't stop them from just making these really expensive batteries. But what it does say is that they have to be easily replaceable. So like we have on this one where you can easily just pop off the back and hot swap batteries on the go like that is what this has to be. Because you can open up an iPhone and just replace the battery. I have experience with that. But not easy, not something you can just randomly do. So here's something very fascinating that has to do with Apple, movies, terms of services, all sorts of stuff. And not really Google, but you get the idea. So Apple's not letting movie studios give bad guys iPhones. So this was first exposed by Star Wars The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson, who was talking about his new film, Knives Out. And in this movie, spoiler alert, most characters, other than the bad guy, use or touch an iPhone. But Apple will not let bad guys in movies touch an iPhone at all. So this is very interesting because you could simply spoil a movie from being like, oh, look, iPhone. Wait, that guy's got an Android phone. That ain't an iPhone. So maybe he's the bad guy. That's kind of crazy, kind of strange on Apple. But what it does do is kind of give this idea that bad guys use Android, which is that very subliminal, implicit message. But very interesting to see there. I'm Skylar. Thanks for watching. Bye.